Get comfortable. What up, guys? My name is Ari. I don't know why I clap. Every time I do this, I'm like... My name is Ari. Welcome back to my channel, Life by Ari. And today, we're going to talk about one very important thing, okay? Here we go. And that very important thing is my birthday. Well, it's important to me, so... Also, don't mind my hair. It's like hanging very weird. This is a side note, but I'm in like a weird phase with my hair where it's like getting longer and I'm like in a debate whether I want to like grow it out or keep it short. I just don't know. I am turning 26 this week and it's a little surreal because one, like 26 isn't as old as I thought it was when I was younger, and two, people are starting to look young to me, and my mother-in-law just told me this like 2 weeks ago. She's like, once people start looking young, that means you're old. I am old. So I made a video a few years ago. I actually don't know how long ago it was. Anyway, I made it a few years ago, and I basically talked about the pressure that you feel being an early 20-something, and you know, the pressure that your parents put on you to go to school or, you know, do something with yourself, be successful, whatever that is. And now, you know, being 26 almost, I have a few days. I'm glad I made that video because one, it just meant to me, just like watching it back, it means like, okay, I am reshaping my idea of success. And I think that's kind of what a lot of us kind of get caught up in, is like, oh, you know, degree status or like annual income. And I've had a few people who are of an older generation than I am just tell me like, hey, I have this degree and I don't actually use it. You know, it's not like my passion. And for me, earning a degree, actually I had a whole plan, y'all. I wanted to go to college, get a degree in music, and then get a master's in something, and then get a PhD before I was 27. And I hit like 19 and I was like, okay, this is harder than I thought it would be. And then I hit 21 and had a baby, and that changed my whole life perspective. And so now I'm 26, I'm married, we still have one kid, and I'm here. And I'm like, okay, life is not what I thought it was, and the success, like the meaning of success, is not what I thought it was or should be. So, all that to say that I am going to share with you guys the 5 things that I'm going to take into the next year of life with me. Here we go. One thing I'm going to take with me that I feel like people in my inner circle are always like preaching to me is like, let it go. So that's the first thing I really think about when people are like, you know, oh, you're 25 or... Okay, I have a few days, 26. What have you learned? You know, like, what advice do you have? I'm like, let it go. Like, the anxiety that you build up for yourself in your head about what you need to be doing and like this criteria of achievement that you have in your head only stresses you out. And as my father so eloquently put the other day, stress kills you. And oh God, that was like an interesting conversation. It's true. If you don't have like a good balance of a concern for certain things in your life, you are going to drive yourself crazy. And I am one who gets anxious over little things, and I don't like it. I've gotten to the point where I have this self-talk in my head where I'm like, you need to calm down. Like, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to probably make somebody mad because you're focused too much on this one thing. And you need to just like stop here, take deep breaths, and take steps back, right? So that's where I am with that. The second thing I'm going to take into my next year of life with me is this advice I got from PJ. He's our mentor. You guys have met him before. But one thing he always tells us is be a genius. One thing that he always preaches to us is to be a genius and to learn from other people's experiences, hopefully more than your own experiences. And hopefully I didn't confuse you, but basically it means like be wise. Try to get wisdom from people who have been through certain things or similar things in you so that you can navigate around certain life scenarios better, or navigate through certain life scenarios better, and be able to come out like as whole as possible. Because for me, I've had a lot of life experiences that I haven't had control over, but I've also involved myself in some life experiences that were just like, I could have avoided this if I would have just, taken the advice or really listened to that person that gave me advice about what might happen and blah, 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 blah. So that's number 2. Be a genius, people. Number 3 is really like my life mantra right now. I'm currently making weekly videos for my husband's Instagram. You guys can go check it out. And with the deadline of 7 days from the last video posted, I have learned so much more in this like last 6 weeks to just do it. Like, especially if you commit to it, especially if you say, you know what, this is a goal of mine and I vow to do this for myself, or I'm going to help somebody do it. For me as a creative, I get so picky and particular with everything I do, and I want it to look a certain way. I want it to read off or come off a certain way. I want it to be clean. I want it to be sleek. You guys have heard me say this before, but I have learned this year especially just to go do it and stop waiting, because you're going to miss an opportunity. You're going to miss something that you're going to look back and regret. And I've done that several times. I have experienced that regret. I've experienced that, man, I should have just went for it. I should have just went for it and then just worked my butt off, and I just hate that feeling. So this year, I'm just doing it. I'm just gonna go for everything that I can. Number 4 is something that I kind of like had an epiphany about in the last few months, and really having like deep conversations with my inner circle of people just about how life is, and now that we're like actual adults, what life is actually really like. It's a little bit deep, just roll with me. But number 4 is just the idea that everything is fluid. Yes, fluid. I think due to like my childhood and just how I grew up, I was not trusting of people because everything was like changing all the time. Like things were moving and people were leaving and coming and going, and I didn't have like a lot of like stability really until like I became a teenager. So I formed this habit of just like clamming up and hiding, if you will, and just being like, you know what, I'm just not going to expose myself to this. I'm just going to be closed off. And what I've learned in my adulthood, especially being a mom, and especially having a life partner, I have learned that I need to be okay with change. Like, I need to be okay with other people's ideas and the fact that they might change their mind from one moment to the next. And I need to be okay with the fact that life does not stand still. Like it moves. Whether you decide to go with it or not, it's always moving. So anyway, I've just come to the realization, I guess you could say, that change is gonna happen, and even though you don't like it, you find stability in yourself, who you are, what you're about, who you're for, and roll with it. Like, just go with it. If you are like me, hopefully you understand what the heck I'm saying right now. So the 5th and final thing is take care of you. I am holding on to that little mantra for the rest of my life, honestly. This latter part of the year, I've really come to realize like how my lack of self-care has really impacted everything else in my life. And it's really been like the last month or two where I've really been taking it seriously. It's really made a change, making the time and taking the effort to be like, you know what, you need some alone time. You need time for you. It's just, I mean, and the reality is like, if you are not taking care of yourself, everything around you suffers for it. All of my relationships, all of the things that I include myself in, that I give myself to, I will lose or I will affect possibly negatively if I'm not taking time to be like, okay, skirt, this is a me moment. This is a moment for Ari. I'm going to eat loads of ice cream, or I'm going to like journal, or I'm going to wash my hair. Like, I need this time. I need this moment to like recenter myself. It's, you know, they always talk about mind, body, spirit. I don't mean to be cliche, but bro, that's a real thing. So anyway, I talked your ear off for like 12,000 hours, but those are just the 5 things that I wanted to share with you guys that I'm taking into my next year of life that maybe might help you, or maybe you feel the same way I do, or you're coming to it, or whatever. If you guys are November babies, comment in the comments below. Let me know when your birthday is, and also let me know what your biggest life lesson or what you're taking into the next year with you is. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!